we are ready for game one. Wright serving. And Wright just never could get himself into that kitchen line. A couple of resets that just went too far and were attackable, and it was just couldn't get to that kitchen line. Yeah, great hand there by Fed in a good hand battle with Wright, and came out on top of that. So they are on the board here, 1-0. There's a forehand dink, unforced error in the net by Pablo. And that's what these guys like to do. Pablo likes to drive that forehand, and you'll see Fed kind of crash to the tee at the kitchen line and try to capture that next ball, and he's so good on those volleys, both on the forehand and backhand side. James just hesitated there, and that ball got way below the net, and then he had no chance to attack that ball. So Fed and Pablo to an early 3-0 lead here in game one in this best 2 out of 3 games to 11. We are using the new Vulcan ball. And you can see them really going at Wright and attacking him early. Usually Matt Wright, one of the best counter punchers we have on the backhand side in the entire game, but not that time. And there's a lucky net court, so you might see a timeout here after a early 5-0 run here in Palm Desert here at Mission Hills Country Club. A really important side out there for Matt Wright and James Ignatowich. Trying to get on the board here. And that is one way to do it. A rare missed backhand volley there by Staksrud. That's usually his favorite shot. So Wright will be serving to Pablo Tellez, 1-5. You can see how active Ignatowich's feet are at the kitchen line. And another dink in the net by Pablo, this time off the backhand side. So that will get them to 2-5 here in game one, trying to claw their way back in here. Oh, great hands there by James. Seen a lot of balls coming off Matt Wright's paddle, pretty hot here. What happens when the sun goes down, folks, in the desert is the temperature goes down quickly and the ball gets harder. And the ball is taken off the paddle a little quicker. Let's see if these players can adjust to that and get that ball with a softer ball flight, getting that down in the kitchen. And that's the counter I was talking about, Matt Wright on the backhand side. He is as good as anybody in the history of pickleball. So if you're going to attack Matt Wright, you better get the ball either to his forehand side or get it down, or he will make you pay. Yeah, that did touch Fed. So they've clawed their way back along with Johnny Pickleball is back in the house. Dave Weinbach, we are at 5-5, Johnny, here in the first game.
Yeah, absolutely. I had to go get my sweatshirt as this temperature drops. So this, something else is dropping is James Ignatowich's forehand. And there's going to be the timeout taken.
Afternoon in the bright sun.
Well, they think they found what they wanted. It looks like they're starting to attack Fed down the line a little bit more. And I think they found their spot. And you know, a few adjustments that have to be made, you know, and especially because Matt and James, obviously that partnership for 2024 now, and figuring out some kinks, but then understanding the patterns of a new matchup.
You can see how Matt's sliding to his right wants the counter backhand. He doesn't want to have to change his wrist in his grip and go to that forehand side. Yeah, good decision there by James. Not only attacking that ball, but where he chose to go with it, Johnny, right down the middle.
Yeah, it could be a scary place with Pablo's lefty forehand sitting there, but actually just kind of pushed that a little further away from him, which was really good spot.
Ignatowich becoming one of the top left side players we have in the men's game. And this is what makes him so dangerous, is that he can take this ball in any different direction, likes to roll it with topspin, but can go middle, can go right at the body, can go across court. And you see on the dinks, he prefers to go cross court. He lets the left hand take over and roll it cross.
Yeah, good Ernie there from Pablo Tellez. And yeah, James Ignatowich just doing a great job of disguising shots, but with his backhand. But Pablo getting some good air there, trying to jump the kitchen. So we're gonna have James Ignatowich to serve. And they're going right at him. Great drop there from Matt Wright to bring him in and create that pressure and letting James just get bigger.
And Tellez's dink on that forehand side was about a ball and a half too high, and that's all it takes for James Ignatowich to really attack that. And I love how he gets to that line and leans in.
And James sitting all over it, had the net cord, unfortunately for him, but Pablo and Federico getting away with one there.
Yeah, Matt's got to make him pay for that one. Wright becoming more comfortable over the years on the right-hand side. Historically was really a great left side player. I know when I played with him, he would always play the left, and my job was to set him up.
And James Ignatowich with probably like a size 12, 13 shoe on the kitchen line there, so it gets called.
Yeah, clearly.
And Federico Staksrud kind of having a couple routine misses here, and side out and 8-6.
Oh, I thought James was going to come over because Matt was off the court. It looked like initially James was coming a little bit right, and then he stopped. So you can tell they've talked about this, that the returns that come in the middle, Matt is going to take the third shot, drop, whether it's a forehand or a backhand. Wright wants that because he wants James moving forward, because James is such a threat at the kitchen line. So Wright's got to be really careful with any dinks down the line. Fed has become one of the better players in the world at the earning move when it's on his forehand side. So Matt just cannot dink it down the line.
And Matt Wright hitting the nice combo there, going with a big forehand down the line, and then right at Pablo Tellez. That Mach 3. And what's really incredible, although Federico missing that shot, you know, when James Ignatowich is up at the kitchen line, he's getting so much torque on his wrist to have that ball go back and just kick up and kick everywhere, which is really impressive. And Pablo Tellez kind of getting the same thing with his backhand there with enough torque as well. So that ball.
Great roll backhand by Pablo to set up that kill shot.
And we're trying to get the ball.
So Wright serving here, 2 points away from game one. Oh, and after an early 0-5 start, they have made their run, and here we have game point.
Yeah, great return from Pablo Tellez. Heavy, heavy return. So much needed side out. 6-10, we'll see if they can kind of get something going here.
Yeah, really good setup there by Matt Wright with that forehand drive, and James was right there for the cleanup.
And there it is, Matt Wright really understanding the right side of the court much better now, and learning how to set up his partner. And really right now they have found their spot. They have won a lot of their points just attacking down the line. Matt Wright going right after Federico Staksrud. And that ball going to be long and wide in game one after being down 0-5.
The official ball of the PPA Tour.
You got to be really careful about going into his body or onto his backhand side. You got to get it on his forehand side, or just get the ball really down, because he may be the best player in the world at that counter backhand punch. And I think if you're James and Matt, a couple of things to think about is, number one, James has got to be more patient on some of these attack balls. That ball, he just should have stayed patient and kept digging. It was way below the net. I also think that when they're digging, they ought to target Pablo's backhand maybe a little bit more than they have been in terms of on the soft dinking shots.
And a couple early errors there from James Ignatowich as the referee is.
We got a few people entering the court here.
It's tough to beat.
Just a reminder to everybody, championship court is open.
And there's Matt Wright once again. And Dave, go ahead. I know you got us.
We got an update here, Johnny.
We do.
On Humana Championship Court, Anna Lee Waters and Catherine Parento just took down in 2 games Leah Jansen and Tyra Hurricane in 2 games. So they will keep advancing on.
Oh, Federico Staksrud just bodying up Matt right there.
And Matt was sitting on the backhand until that clipped the net.
Waiting. And there it is, the speed up from Pablo Tellez after a long dink battle up at the kitchen line. Sets up James Ignatowich with a two-handed backhand hitting the leg of Federico Staksrud. So Federico just turned into a pincushion this game.
Fed did not expect Pablo to speed that ball up. Back in their hand, they know they need to capture this game, Johnny, to force a game 3.
And that one hitting the net and going out, so a little chirping there from Federico and Matt Wright back at each other, just making sure that ball did go out. And great shake and bake there. Pablo closing. Federico with a great drive to set it up. You'll see it here on our instant replay.
Wright just gets nothing on that backhand volley. Actually mishit it. Easy forehand put away for Pablo.
And now all tied up at 3 until a missed return here from James Ignatowich.
And Ignatowich looking at the ground like it took a really weird bounce, which I think it did. It didn't come up. So they have the lead here at 4-3.
And now Pablo with a little stare down and a pump up to himself after winning that exchange. Not really much of an exchange, but got a little 1-2 combo on it. And Pablo pretty excited after that play, after another great point.
He knows what a paramount.
Taking a lead here at 6-3. We were knotted up at 2 apiece, then 3 apiece, and now they've made a little run here. So we'll see if the timeout from James and Matt can stop the momentum. And Pablo Tellez can't get that one to go as Federico tried to fly in there and do some singles work for a little while. But they get the side out, so here we go.
And there's another very questionable decision by Wright, trying to speed up that forehand. I got a second serve at it. Great job by James leaning in there and being able to attack that forehand with a little flick forehand topspin roll. And there's another freebie there by Pablo.
And so their 6-3 lead kind of dwindling rather quickly here. And Matt Wright to serve at 5-6. And that ball going to go out after a great battle up at the kitchen. Finally, Federico Staksrud trying to jump the kitchen for the Ernie and hits the net. Probably would have had it, but great dink from James Ignatowich to make sure that ball was just low enough. And so they're going to tie it up here at 6-all here in game 2. And that's wide open with a C from James Ignatowich after moving the ball around. And you can see from the patterns right now.
Every sport has its icon. In pickleball, it's Catherine Parenteau. She's scripting a legacy, continuously making history. Catherine's choice, her signature power air paddle, embodying perfection, innovation, and unrivaled passion. For the relentless in spirit and those chasing greatness. This isn't just a paddle, it's a bond. Inspired by an icon, crafted by Selkirk. We are Pickleball.
A big dent in this game so far. And we'll see if they can continue or if Federico and Pablo can stop it here. And yeah, it's gonna do it, so.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that Fed let that ball bounce. I thought he was gonna attack it out of the air and take time away from his opponent.
So James Ignatowich with a miss, trying to redirect the ball from the kitchen line. And now everything's all tied up once again at 7 apiece. And Matt Wright with a rare miss. That one kind of
just lost it in the lights. Usually Wright with one of the best forehand overheads in the history of pickleball.
And now Federico Staksrud getting a little bit of love from the net. And that puts them ahead now after the Matt Wright mishap of the kind of high volley, and now a net cord, 9-7. And now 10-7. And Federico Staksrud after this timeout can finish off game 2 to force a game 3. And that'll do it. Another little yell from Pablo Tellez and the defense of the Kawamotos. It's going to be really interesting, but we're already going to get started here. So, Dave, here we go. These guys wasting no time.
And we have a shiny new Vulcan ball.
Every game.
All right, 0-0. That does clip the back of the line.
And the fifth shot going to come up a bit short for Pablo Tellez. So we have Federico Staksrud to serve. And great pull there from James Ignatowich. And a little late to get to it, obviously, is Federico.
He's been going cross-court with that all match long, so I like how he's switching it up and drove that middle as he saw Fed leaning to his left.
And a big-time yell from Pablo Tellez, staring down James Ignatowich after that one.
Pablo, always a very fiery player. Yeah, that's why deep down the middle is always good, Johnny, in that situation. Number one, it creates confusion. Number two, even if they get to that ball, it's going to be a very defensive shot, and then it opens up the angles on the next one.
And James Ignatowich having a mishap there as he tries to go for Mach 12 on that forehand and just kind of mishits.
Yeah, I got a little excited there, and I think his eyes came out of his head.
So kind of a freebie point there for Tellez and Staksrud. And that volley sitting up from James Ignatowich, going to set up his partner to get drilled on the next ball. You'll see it on our replay there. Matt Wright unable to defend.
Yeah, and there's Pablo driving the ball again at the Matt Wright backhand, and I think they need to make that adjustment or they're going to have trouble winning this match.
And that's a good spot there from James Ignatowich. Federico knows he can make that shot, but isn't able to connect on that one. So a couple points for Staksrud and Tellez. And Pablo, knowing he set that one up too high, James just sliding over quickly and putting it away. You'll see it right here.
Yeah, Pablo has a tendency sometimes to hit those digs a little too hard with tight grip pressure. And that makes the ball go too far and become attackable. There's a missed reset ball, so Pablo and Fed are going to get the ball back here, Johnny, serving at 2-1 in this deciding game 3. Once a team gets to 6, the players will switch sides.
And Federico Staksrud unable to get that one to go. So another opportunity for Staksrud and Tellez to add some points here.
Two very uncharacteristic backhand dink errors in the net by Staksrud. He's usually extremely consistent on his soft game from the kitchen line.
And big serve there from James. Put him in a good position, but Pablo Tellez is able to come out on top. So Matt Wright to serve, 1-2-2. And here we go.
Yeah, that's a really, really good choice there by Fed, going middle, low, dipping with that topspin makes that really tough ball to handle for James. Yeah, really good return. That ball was deep and it stayed down.
That's a great stick there from Matt Wright. Actually still almost on the move, trying to come in and get the first one. So great hands from Matt, and they get the side out, 1-2, no damage done.
Pablo and Fed have not recognized that that's a no-go zone, driving it to the right backhand.
James and Matt trying to put up the ball, try to get that ball to reset, but that one hanging up too high. Pablo Tellez is able to capitalize on that opportunity. And Matt Wright emphatically letting Pablo and Federico know that that ball is out.
Unlucky that it clipped the tape, because that would have been in if it didn't hit the top of the net. But certainly sails wide.
But another great point there from all 4 players. And I believe a quick towel off, but everybody doing it at the same time. So I don't think it's actually a timeout. I think everybody just quick towel off in unison. And now we're back. So we have 2-2-2. And once again, James Ignatowich trying to get that reset to drop down, but just pops it up, and Pablo Tellez taking advantage.
Yeah, really good attack ball by Pablo. Disguised it really well, and James just couldn't do anything with it. And really good finish there by the Pablo forehand. What a dig. Ooh, that thing didn't really come up at all.
Not at all. And great shot.
Fed's laughing that the ball didn't really bounce.
Nothing he could do.
Wright saying he lost it in the light. It was either that or there's a hole in that paddle. Yeah, another one that he's obviously not seeing it clearly because that hit the very edge of his paddle, and that's the Matt Wright. He's got a patent on that punch volley.
And Pablo Tellez trying to come over and poach, and no worries there. Federico Staksrud kind of giving him the, it's all good.
Pablo blinded his partner there.
There's Matt Wright. He saw that one just fine. And so that one's going to be a point for Wright and Ignatowich.
Great job by Wright there, getting that paddle over to his forehand side to be able to counter that attack by Fed.
And he'll hammer that one home as a quick couple points here for Matt Wright and James Ignatowich. Every time they start to get down a little bit, they just come right back.
Super 1-2 punch there by Wright, creating that opportunity, and always been one of the best finishers we have in the game.
And that ball not going anywhere, just kind of hits the paddle and goes.
I think it hit a sponge.
Probably hit the hole of the Selkirk paddle, possibly. And Matt Wright unable to chase that one down. Good touch from Federico Staksrud as he caught Matt Wright kind of leaning back. And there's Federico Staksrud and Pablo Tellez getting to 6 first, as with the combo play there, hitting the gap.
This week that I got to watch a little bit, and so
cool.
fun. All right, we're back to live action.
And Matt Wright putting that one away. But yeah, we definitely wanted to mention, you'll see it on the instant replay, but you know, used to be where you saw everybody play next to each other, and here we're starting that again. You have the juniors playing right next to the best players in the world, so only at the PPA Tour. Very cool.
And there you saw the evidence of maybe the best overhead that the game has ever seen, and that's Matt Wright's forehand overhead.
There's Federico, too good with that forehand roll, goes to the outside, moves the ball around nicely. James just trying to get it back, really.
Great job setting that up with that inside out forehand dink, pulling Ignatowich off the court. And
And Pablo calling that ball out.
Ball was long.
And both referees
I did. I said the ball was long.
Everyone over there saying it was around the line.
and Matt Wright talking to the referees as he's pretty insistent that he thinks the ball caught inside. Pablo Tellez calling it out.
He's asking on
Dave the Badger Weinbach. We're in game 3 with Pablo Tellez and Federico Staksrud leading 8-4. From James Ignatowich. As there's one down, we'll see if they can get the side out here. And a 1-2 combo going right at the body of James Ignatowich is Pablo Tellez, who gets up there with great athleticism, puts that ball away. And that extends their lead, 9-4-2.
James and Matt just didn't get enough on that first volley and put him in a tough spot. They're gonna try it again. Oh, Pablo got the volley he wanted. All right, so a hard-earned side out, getting the ball back here, serving at 4-9 in this deciding game 3.
One down.
The error that Wright made there was dropping that ball down the sideline. That's just too easy of an earning move for these incredible athletes here on the PPA Tour.
All right, one at a time now if you're James Ignatowich and Matt Wright. So
big break there for Pablo, missing that forehand volley, and James laughing at himself as that ball slides off his paddle and goes into the bottom of the net. So that will be a side out here, Johnny.
And there's the pancake punch volley there from James Ignatowich. A little bit of self-defense, but works out nicely.
All right, so they got another serve here, serving at 9-5, trying to get to that all-important 10 number.
And Matt Wright sitting all over it with his backhand. Federico Staksrud trying to go at him, trying to get that 10 number. But they get the side out instead, so 5-9-1, staying alive. So Fed being big in the middle. And that one gonna tag James Ignatowich.
Ignatowich not looking for that ball at all. Pablo hadn't done this shot the entire match. Kudos to him for that creativity. Great stab.
And now Federico Staksrud going right at Matt Wright and gets the point. And now we are at match point. And Federico Staksrud trying to give a little extra possibly on that serve. So another opportunity, Pablo Tellez to serve, another match point. And can't convert, so another little life here for James and Matt, but time is running out, so.
Both players obviously feeling a little pressure there on those third shots. James pulled the trigger, I think one shot too early there. Pablo waiting for it, almost baited him in.
That's right.
To speeding that ball up and made him pay. So we are at 5-10-2 in this deciding game 3.
And a missed return, so gonna get to 6 here and still staying alive, but they have some work to do, Matt Wright and James Ignatowich. There's a big combination between all players, and James Ignatowich hanging on, but ended up taking on both Fed and Pablo in that one.
What a terrific point there. All players demonstrating phenomenal hands at that kitchen line. So 10-6, match point.
And James gonna speed up right into the forehand of Pablo Tellez. And what a match